liquid.
Right.
But now that they're facing off against Falcons, I want to see what kind of tools they have. Like, what's new?
Which is what Renmar was actually pointing out just a while ago, is we're now finally moving forward with the first draft of the very first game. It's going to be some classic bans here, but for Coach Moody and the rest of Team Falcons, they're probably going to be changing the ways that they approach this game depending on some of the heroes that we haven't seen from the recent patch that are now currently available.
Yeah, something's got to give. There has to be new heroes like the aforementioned Terizla. Wolf said that could have been part of the keys to victory. I do miss Flaps Terizla, maybe only second or tied with his Arlot, but also the Dyroth is a thing now. And I don't know if in a matchup like this, again, we're talking about the higher ranking teams in the MPL now, if they care about the Uranus as much.
Yeah, the Uranus, as we saw in the previous series, had a really big impact. As mentioned earlier, one of the keys to victory also would be the Terizla. Yes, here or there in the results, but at the end of the day, you see the effect that it has. You have a lane that is nigh ungankable. It forces both teams to actually just end up looking at the rest of the map, which ends up becoming like this crazy 3v3 duel of who plays the Roman trio better, because sometimes you don't even want to rotate to the gold lane anymore. With a ban on this carry, is Falcons even considering picking up the Uranus early on? Are they thinking that, are they going to pull off an AP
against the second-seeded team?
So they're saying, we'd rather have you Suyo, we'd rather have you Leomord, we'd rather have you Harley, Kyle, instead of the Baksha and the Gwyn. That's very telling.
Looking at it, it seems like Harley could be a choice. The Uranus might be another idea. But again, the Freya, because of the Guinevere ban and the Marcel, or should I say the carry, it left a bunch of other heroes open.
The Gwyn slot was the Freya slot.
Yeah. Now, Onic might need to play for space creation. They can definitely pick the Severo pick way later. They don't need to rush into anything like a Claude unless they have a strong idea of what they want to play for the other 4 players that can set up for the Claude for a quicker farm. If they go Claude early, that has to be early alarm bells, because most of the time for teams the quality of Falcons, they will most likely win Turtle 1, Turtle 2, and then they snowball like crazy out of it. So they don't show their gold laner yet. They take away another strong pickup for Ogwyn in the Kalea, and of course Brusco's one of his signature picks ever since the Kalea came out. And King Kong meanwhile gets the Harley for the damage that they're looking for. Let's see if this is going to be the similar Battle Mage Harley that we pointed out earlier. And I think for the style for Onic, considering they want to play a strong 4 away from their gold, Battle Mage Harley might suit them best.
And I love the Kaleo pick coming out from Onic Philippines, because it aids them in team fights against a Freya that loves to have those extended team fights available for him. So Team Falcons should have some answers here. I'm probably looking at Leomord if they want to, but it could be a potential target for the Kaleo right away. There goes the Uranus as telegraphed by these gentlemen over here. The carry has been taken out and they went for the Suyu instead. Finally, it's been a while since we saw a Suyu in this week.
First phase alone, Falcons have walked away with so much.
Yeah, lots of value. Jungler #1. The Rising most likely EXP #1 as well for the Uranus. They get the Sora, something active in the map. They want to be able to match all of the dive that Falcons has and stop that. Understandable as a pick. And if Kirk plays his cards maybe a little bit better, he might be able to take down Flap at some point in the early game after Turtle 1 maybe. Expect a rotation from Onic towards the Uranus to see if they can stop him there. Now for the second phase, you're still looking for the mid laners and mid laner roamer for Falcons. It's gold and the mid for Onic.
I love how Onic doesn't have to rush the Valentina.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even have to ban it. They can go red 4 Val, your move.
Yeah.
I mean, it is very apparent, and they're taking their sweet time with this ban. Obviously, that's going to be the Valentina. They do not want the Sora to have any sort of problems moving forward.
Oh, never mind. They have other plans.
Yeah, they have other plans in mind.
They might go for a burst combo, fast rotation through the Farsa, maybe considering they have the Harley, and if their gold laner is going to end up being someone that takes a lot of time, they might end up settling for something like a Kimmy, so that maybe the Kimmy and Harley together in the center of the map can be a bridge for whatever gold laner Severo ends up with. Or I wonder if they're willing to pick up Lilia at red 4, even though you don't see the Roman mid yet. That's a tough part right now for the decision for Onic in their mid lane. There's no Roman mid for Falcons to show.
Hear me out. Since Sora is on their side and there's really, I mean,
They banned it.
between the Suyo and the Frey, I think it's manageable. What if Gord? What if for the biggest smile on the face of Joseph Charles Rezabec, Gord? Because that's kind of a combo, right?
Yeah,
like
Gord
you have a
Harley.
long-term raw-range stun, and then if someone gets hit by the Tsunami Slam, you blast him with the Gush.
Yeah, Gord, Harley, then they have the Sora. It could work, yeah. Sora Kalea should be enough to buy time for the Gord to make the most out of the Mystic Gush, because that's usually one of the biggest problems with the Gord, whether or not the Mystic Gush is going to be set for a long time or you're forced to drop it early. Even though it's really not a lot of abilities will cancel out the Mystic Gush. Still, it's you forcing yourself out of the ultimate because you need to get back to safety.
So with that being said, they're going to be taking the Kimmy out.
Right? See, by taking out the Kimmy, you're really only going through either Farsa, Eve, oh no, Farsa's banned out, so it's not just Eve or Gord.
Eve or Gord?
The tough thing is, again, because there's no roam mid showing, it's hard for me to suggest Zetian right now.
Yeah.
But I think maybe there might be room for... Yeah, there is room for Zetian. With the guy with the Freya, the Suyo.
Where's the combo gonna be coming from with the Kalia then?
The Fury with Phoenix.
So just set that up.
Yeah, set
and then
it
you
up.
just light up whoever gets hit.
Yeah.
Again, this
If
makes...
it's not the kidnap, it's like you let the Kalea and Harley be the burst, and then you're just covering with the Fury of the Phoenix.
Whoa. One man?
man, dude. They're reaching deep in the bag. I mean, if they had the Guinevere with Onic doing their homework, Falcons has done theirs.
Is there something among scrims? Did Onic Indonesia play a 1-1 this weekend? I need to catch up, but...
We gotta find out. Don't worry, Renmar's on it.
Thank you.
But hey, the Eve might be a possibility. He also talked about a Lilia that could pop off just so there's enough peel on that damage coming out from the side of Onic Philippines, because those are tanky members. The Bruno is going to be the choice here for the side of Onic.
Safe pick. I like how the Bruno has a great range. You're forcing Falcons to dive you hard. But still the question, what's in mid? What's in mid for Falcons? What's in mid for Onic? What's in the roam for Falcons?
Yeah, it makes it so difficult for Falcons to decide just because of the mid laner is still unavailable. So they're letting Falcons pick it first and then react to it afterwards. But the choice is for the green and white to make. They had an abundance of heroes for those first 3 picks, but is that going to bite them in the back? I don't think so.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of who will be completing that composition, because I assume they still have a bunch of choices.
Maybe it's me being a little bit too RG minded. I wonder if they can pick Sicilian here. Because with Falcons being...
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Lilia. Okay, I got excited.
Okay, so I'm glad that it's a Lilia, because I would say if they picked a Sicilian, would have been too expensive. Because you're trying to put farm on the Bruno, you're trying to ramp up with the Harley. I don't know what kind of Harley this is. The Sicilian would have been a little too much.
Yeah, but those heroes, actually for all of our super fans watching, you can scan the QR code and predict the match winner correctly for a chance to win 1,000 MLBB Diamonds. That's not expensive. You get it for free if you win.
Rennie, did you see the Zetian coming in for Falcons? Because that's out of left field for me.
For Falcons, I honestly thought they'd go something else, but with them taking out the Farsa, the Eve was still open, but then maybe they were thinking about the Sora, the Harley. As someone who loves playing Zetian, I can never say no to Zetian. Yeah, that's my favorite girl right there.
There's a
It's
sweet
all right.
spot.
Yeah, it's great vision with all of the dive that they have, and actually, OG plus the Fury with Phoenix is a great combo.
That's a combo.
Even if they don't land and layer at the same time, there's so much ground to cover to get away from those two.
That is what Team Falcons is going to be depending on in this very first game of the breakthrough. Team Falcons, one of the more macro-centric teams, just like what Leo has talked about early on in the pre-show, is going to be facing off against Onic, who is right on the case immediately, trimming down Ogwen's HP to 25%, but then it's A-OK as he goes back to 50.
They're doing it. This is their old trick. The orange small camp attack, and they take out Brusco. That's a fish out of water. Falcons punish the bruiser.
Bro, Kyle says, give me that!
I'm surprised that they attempted to do that, even though it looked good because they forced Haji and Ogwen quite low through the aggression of the Lilia. That's still a Suyo with the Blade Surge. You get caught in that and you're pretty much done for. And the fact that there is still regen for both the roam and mid, that after all the damage you dished out, oh, Kyle!
There he goes again!
The pressure gets deflated.
Perfect rotations by Kyle.
It happens so quick. It's just that one thing. For one thing, he was right at the mid lane getting the first blood, and then afterwards, as soon as he got a little jungle objective right at the bottom, and Severo was cut down to 25% of his HP, it was Dunzos.
Yeah, Dunzos.
Dunzos, that's a word.
It was Dunzos. I like that.
Impressive how Onic, despite the L's that they took in the first 2 minutes, are still trying to steal small camps.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just fold. You're going to have to really try balance out the losses that you took on early on. Severo's got down. King Kong is both level 4. Close.
Flap here. Catches a face full of deadly magics. Helping Kyle secure does not go down so easily as Brusco can't find anyone to take down. Falcon's front line is just too damn thick.
This is what you were pointing out from the start. It's just the room created by both Ogwen and Flap are starting to pay off early on, just 2 minutes in.
Yeah, just bodies going forward. And that's why I consider the Sicilian, because what if Onic looked at what Falcons already has and would have just accepted the fact that they're most likely not going to win the early to the mid game, and then they just play for the mid to late. But instead of trying to make a case for the Sicilian, let's see what Onic can do to turn things around. It is still a Bruno at the end of the day. If Onic can commit one rotation to send Super Marco back and get Severo with some progress on the energy shielding, that could be a good way to come back. But they also have to take care of the river a lot because of the losses of King Kong.
Oh, wow. Marco reading into that small camp take. Pushes the Valkyries descent into King Kong, and he flushes him out. I mean, he took half of it, I think. Yeah, there's a little baby beetle there.
Bro, I was about to say that Onic Philippines was starting to work their way down at bot because they wanted to make sure to at least give some pressure towards Super Marco. It's just that Team Falcons, the other 4, were putting in the work enough to keep Onic Philippines distracted and confused. Like, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to go down, or should we stay here in the jungle?
I think the jungle is their last choice, right? I don't know if you agree with me, but all the side lanes are dead.
Yeah.
Where else do they go?
Yeah, that's a really tough call for Onic. I think they're going to have to consider giving up this next turtle. Because right now, with the state of the flow of the minion waves, it seems like Flap's going to get into the position first. He has a gap over Kirk, but Kirk should be able to hit level 6 through this. Falcons are still continuously going into the orange side of Onic. Bad news for their turtle. After this purple buff, King Kong should just try going to the bot alongside Super Friends, but with Brusco holding the turtle, they won't even be able to make a play through that.
This is now going to be a turtle spawn for both of the teams. Team Falcons holding on to a 1.3 gold lead. Flap, Ogwen putting bodies in front. Kirk and Brusco basically doing the same, and Super Friends just right there.
Turtle down to a 1/5 of its health. Kyle making easy work of it. And they will indeed rotate quick. AOG, locked and loaded. Ogwen finds no one, zoning Severo out.
Yeah, they got no win in the map. It seems like King Kong just ended up going into the green camp yet again to see if he can catch off a rotating Super Marco. Super Marco was fine. I thought he was also trying to just help Severo get some double lane farm, but when the river comes out, then you won't even be able to clear out the minion wave in mid, so it ended up becoming a dead map for Onic.
So much damage already entering in.
They jumped the pressure! Severo gets squished by Kyle! And Super Marco now in mid. Brusco here, caught up between 3. Gets taken down by Flap. Now Kirk gonna be up next. Flickers on out of there. And the 2-for-1 trade. Falcons still come out on top.
Falcons are winning everything. They've won the gold lane first. Severo tried to slide tackle out of that situation, but just bumped into the wall. Couldn't find the exact spot to be able to tackle through. Falcons, hands!
One might say he was strutting on the Uranus. Not to mention, he went under tier 1. He was taking more than just hero damage.
Yeah, he popped the Purify just in time too, so that there wouldn't be a momentary knock-up for that little knockup, if ever it connected, might have actually bought time for Onic to finish off that Uranus, but the Purify just came in right in time for Flap. Again, this is the Brave Smite Uranus. He does have the Radiant Armor, as we pointed out earlier. Ogren also has a Radiant Armor, so as expected, Falcons will most likely take control of the game up until Onic has items, which will be past 15 minutes at this point because of the 2 deaths on the gold laner. But never completely turn off the idea of a turnaround. One turtle or objective steal might be it.
Okay, Falcons deny a skirmish in mid as we take a closer look at how Kyle plays this Suyo with an Infinix hand cam. And they just blitz through the final turtle.
Again, there's always something going on with the green and white. They seem to, start off instigating a fight, but then all of a sudden, a turtle has been taken right under their noses. And Onic Philippines, at least they were able to take a turret down bot, because that is a consolation prize to what Team Falcons has been doing around the map. Efficient rotations have been followed through by the birds in the nest.
Yeah.
They're giant birds.
They are giant birds.
Falcons are huge.
They're probably like our modern day dinosaurs.
Closest thing.
Yeah, closest thing. Skypiercer on the Suyo. Doesn't have a stack yet, though. His first kill was the very first kill of the game. So wait until that counts off. I don't think there's going to be a Skypiercer holder on the side of Onic unless. We'll see. But once Kyle starts stringing together kills, you can call this game as good as over. Brusco and Severo trying to recover for the team by providing space for the Bruno to split up the map and get that tower down and get some gold, even if it's just a little bit. It's going to be a long climb for the Super Fam to get items and resources for their main damage dealer.
Man, Falcon is always a step ahead. Onic takes a tier 1, Falcons take a tier 2.
That has always been the scenario over the first 8 minutes of this game, as Kirk is going to be found quite isolated, but immediately makes it back to his teammates. Prince and at half HP, and King Kong might be the next target here for Team Falcons if they want to go for it, but Kyle will just be safely securing the objective. So this is one of those times that not a lot of stuff is happening, but for Team Falcons, it's all about that preparation, that idea to get there right away, and how Onic is going to be reacting to it in spite of them trailing by almost 4K.
Yeah. King Kong, the bottom part of the map.
Onic tried. They had thoughts about it, but I'm glad that they did not go 50-50. So they don't lose anything, really.
Yeah, at least it's still workable for Onic Philippines. They just have to deal with the total damage output, which in fact they were still unable to do so over the first 10 minutes of this game. The objectives have been given right away. Brusco's going to be evading that, but he will still continue. Actually, he's going to back away. And that will be another major objective going to the side of Team Falcons.
That's Hunger Games for you.
This just keeps going.
Yeah.
I wonder how this ends or when this ends, as Flap is just right over there, continuously dealing damage or just distracting them completely.
Yeah, the side lane minions are going to go in tandem alongside the Lord. Almost roughly the same time. They should be able to break down inhibitors here. Not yet endable unless a member of Onic oversteps their welcome outside of the base. After these side lane minions were cleared by Onic, they're only working with one, but there's another one coming in mid for Falcons.
Okay, Falcons already in. Flap and Ogwin, the vanguards. They find Kirk. They crack open that inhibitor. Ooh, Kirk comes in, shifting skies. Fury the Phoenix coming through. Savero takes a good amount of hits there. AOG defensively used. Now Kirk and Brusco, the front line softened up. Katoon as Kyle gets on out of there. Close call. Onic lose no bodies, but instead have that top lane inhibitor broken down.
I mean, the great thing about having the Lilia, it's just great wave clear. You're 8,000 gold down, you still have really great wave clear. Ogun baiting out some key abilities from Onic with a Winter Crown, and then Haji again with another great timing of the Fury of the Phoenix to help cover ground where they got the Kacha. But Onic played that carefully. That's the best result they could have asked for.
Oh, they start off with another Tsunami Slam, leading to a good bunch of nothing as Flap doesn't even purify. Shifting skies. How about we go again? Consecration by Flap. And I think Falcons are just trying to slow down the push.
And in addition, Onic Philippines is just putting all of the damage output that they could dish out onto Flap, and that is the worst target that you could have. I don't know, it's just so much damage taken from Flap, being the only one in this game to achieve 128k. That just means one thing: he's present. He's in Onyx faces all the time.
But as impressive as that is, we're about 20 seconds away from Onic crossing the threshold of we should be online. Because Falcons, truth be told, as awesome as the first 15 minutes has become, they just can't really take down turrets. Like, they have to win off of a fight.
Yeah, difficult thing about that. The fact that only one turret fell down for Onic in the previous one was a saving grace for them. They still wouldn't be able to heavily contest the next one. But let's see if they can find a good flow in the bottom to break that. Because even if they try to set up King Kong for a miraculous Lord Seal, they're not even going to be able to get there in time.
Whoa, shifting
Unless
guys on a small camp.
Whoa.
Goes into torrent form. Lord now to a fifth of his health. Brusco with the conceal. Gets flushed out. King Kong spotted out. Oh, gee, no one home. But Kirk is out of his breath. Kirk is going to get popped here like a pimple. Kyle gets a stack.
That's Kirk, man. No way out. Team Falcons have taken the lead and extended it even more. King Kong will safely be going back to the base after that, but it's just too much. That was a second round of it. Expecting that Flap was going to be there. I just don't understand what happened.
King is risking life and limb for his buff.
Yeah.
And that's what allowed this wave down here to follow through. Even in mid, Lord number 3, Falcons with the push. Will they get what they want? Brusco with the Tsunami Slam. No dice, leads to nothing. In comes the rest of them. Valkyries are set by Marco, wailing away, giving a stack over to Kyle. Brusco is out of the picture. Lord's still standing. AOG plus the Fury and the Phoenix. Jumping onto the Super Fam. They're underneath the base, standing in the middle. Kirk falls, and the base is going to be up next. Falcons have hunted down Onic, 1-0.
Just like a surgeon dissecting the defense,